Welcome to Minna no Nihongo Lesson 3. In this lesson, we'll learn how to talk about places, directions, and where things come from using expressions like ここ, そこ, あそこ, and どこ. We'll also look at their polite versions こちら, そちら, あちら, and どちら, which you'll often hear in stores or offices. By the end of this lesson, you'll be more confident asking questions, finding places, and talking about locations in Japanese. Alright, let's get started! In Japanese, we often use the words ここ, そこ, and あそこ to describe where something is. ここ means here, そこ means there, and あそこ means over there, farther away from both the speaker and the listener. When you want to ask where something is, you use どこ, which simply means where. Let's look at the examples. ここは教室です. Here is the classroom. そこは受付です. That is the reception. あそこはトイレです. Over there is the toilet. And when you want to ask どこはトイレです, you say トイレはどこですか? Where is the toilet? These expressions are very useful in real-life situations, whether you're walking down a hallway like this, visiting a school, or exploring a new building. Once you master them, it becomes much easier to understand and explain where things are. In Japanese, we also have polite versions of the location words we learned earlier. These are こちら, そちら, あちら, and どちら. こちら means this way or this place. そちら means that way or that place. あちら means over there, just like あそこ. どちら means which way or which place, but more polite. And どちら means which way or where in a polite way. You'll hear these forms a lot in shops, companies, offices, and other situations where people want to sound more formal or respectful. Let's look at the examples. エレベーターはこちらです. The elevator is this way. トイレはそちらです. The toilet is that way. 会議室はあちらです. The meeting room is over there. And to ask politely, you say, エレベーターはどちらですか? Which way is the elevator? Using these polite forms makes your Japanese sound smoother and more natural, especially in public places or customer service settings. Now let's look at one of the most basic and useful sentence patterns in Japanese. Noun 1は Noun 2です. We use は to mark the topic and です as the polite ending. Together, this pattern means something like Noun 1 is Noun 2. You can use it to describe a place or identify what something is. For example, ここは教室です. Here is the classroom. あそこは食堂です. Over there is the cafeteria. And we can also specify locations like floors or rooms. 受付は1階です. Reception is on the first floor. This structure appears everywhere in everyday Japanese, so mastering it helps you express simple, clear sentences right away. In this section, we'll learn how to ask two very useful types of questions in Japanese: where something is and where something comes from. First, to ask where, we use なま, どこですか? Or the more polite form はどちらですか? For example, トイレはどこですか? Where is the toilet? エレベーターはどちらですか? Which way is the elevator? Next, we can ask about origin using はどこのですか? Here, どこの means of which country, of which company, or from where. For example, これは日本の車です。This is a Japanese car. これはどこの車ですか? Which country's car is this? These question patterns are extremely practical. You'll use them anytime you need directions, want to know where something is from, or are shopping and curious about the origin of an item. Now, let's look at a very practical expression you'll use all the time in Japan. いくらですか? This phrase means, how much is it? And it's the standard way to ask for a price in shops, markets, cafes, or restaurants. Here's an example. このネクタイはいくらですか? How much is this tie? And the answer might be 1,500 yen です. It's 1,500 yen. Because prices are so common in daily conversations, mastering いくらですか makes shopping and traveling much easier. It's simple, polite, and works in any situation where you want to know the cost of something. Great job reaching the end of lesson 3. Let's quickly review what we learned today. First, we explored location words like ここ, そこ, あそこ, and どこ, and their polite forms こちら, そちら, あちら, and どちら. These help you understand and describe where things are. Next, we learned some useful basic patterns. With はとです, you can identify or describe a place. And with どこ、どちらですか? You can ask where something is, either casually or politely. We also looked at how to ask about origin using はどこのですか? And how to ask for prices with いくらですか? Something you'll use often when shopping in Japan. All of these expressions are practical tools that help you navigate daily life. Whether you're finding a room, asking for directions, or checking how much something costs. Try practicing both the casual and polite forms so you can use them naturally in different situations. Great work today, and see you in the next lesson.